Hello, everybody. If it's Wednesday night, you know I am here each and every Wednesday night. I'm Dr. Twanna, and as a career coach, I help, I empower stressed, busy women leaders who are tackling imposter syndrome and self criticism and doubt. And I help them to alleviate stress so that they can find peace of mind while focusing on excelling in their careers. Because who wants to be in a career where every day you feel like you run around in circles and about to lose your mind? The money is good, but nothing else is. Well, you can actually have a little bit of everything that makes you happy in your career. And let just drop a one in the comments if you can hear me. I think I have my microphone set to the right thing. I am back in Maryland, so trying to readjust to this particular office. I've been in Alabama for a month, visiting my daughters and family. So I just want to be sure that you can hear me. So tonight, if you're just joining us, we're talking about how emotional intelligence propels Black women leaders to excel in spite of diversity. Now, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and just hit that notification bell. It will let you know every time I go live and or I drop a new video. And as well, be sure to share this information with other women leaders who you know can benefit from it. Again, we're talking tonight how emotional intelligence propels Black women leaders to excel in spite of diversity, right? I should say adversity, and I should have caught that before. In spite of adversity, I was like, no, we want diversity. What am I saying? So again, let me just correct that. How emotional intelligence propels Black women leaders to excel in spite of adversity. That's what that should say. It's like something's not ringing right on the way I was saying that. Okay. And so I do welcome your comments. I invite you to drop comments, talk with me, answer questions, that kind of thing. I am going to, as I heard somebody say, scooch it over just a little bit so I can see your comments while I am live. Okay. And so, really, we're just talking about how emotional intelligence is a critical tool that helps Black women leaders navigate the challenges and the adversities, right, associated with the workplace. We'll explore how emotional intelligence really enables Black female executives to overcome those obstacles and be successful in spite of the adversity, right? And it doesn't matter what industry you're in, emotional intelligence applies across all industries, right? And so, really, emotional intelligence, let's just talk about that first. It refers to the ability to really understand, manage, and communicate your emotions, and which also has a mirroring effect. And how many counselors out there, folks with a psychology background, we know that when we're in really great communication with people, we actually mirror, because your hands is one mirror of the other. When we do things, when we understand ourselves, when we're communicating and we're on point, we're in flow, others will mirror the energy that we actually put off, right? So leaders with high emotional intelligence create positive cultures in their workplace. They're great communicators and they have the ability to work effectively with others. Yeah. And so let's look at how emotional intelligence can actually be applied to overcome challenges related to adversity in the workplace. And for Black women, diversity can sometimes be a barrier. Why? It's the lack thereof, because oftentimes you're the only Black woman, at that level in your organization, or you may be one of two. And also, there may be discrimination that you face in that workplace. It could be blatant racism, could be microaggressions, just the very undercover, adversity that you face, and also just bias, right? And I've spoken about, last month, the whole thing was about the intersectionality of being Black and being a female, and how that hits because Black women become invisible. Yes, we know we're here, but how we see things becomes invisible. How we experience becomes invisible. What we provide, what we contribute to the workplace becomes invisible. So those are just some of the adversities that Black women face in the workplace, right? And so emotional intelligence obviously can be applied in professional settings as well as your personal life, right? And I said again, a leader with high emotional intelligence is actually able to regulate and control their own emotions and responses. Okay. And let me know how many of you have been sitting in a meeting and someone says something very stupid. It's a microaggression, and you just sit there and first you got the shock piece of it, like, wait, what did it just, you kind of play the conversation back in your head. Did I just hear what I just heard? And then you look around because some people will show that they heard it, but no one else is willing to challenge what they heard. And so you have to hear this and make a decision. Do I say something here? Do I pull this person to the side later on? How do I react in this particular moment? Do I check my emotions and wait until it's over with? Those are things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I understand here a lot of folks that say, it is exhausting sometimes to be masking and checking your feelings, like, should I express them or should I not? Should I do this or should I not? But it is high emotional intelligence that allows you to make those decisions on a split second and continue to move on and carry on with what you have to do. Right? It really does help you to respond appropriately in tense situations, as well as foster a positive work environment, increase productivity, right? Because anybody been in a situation, there's been something really stupid said in the workplace, it was a microaggression and it wasn't addressed, and your subordinates come to you and like, here's what I heard. Here's what I heard. And sometimes they come to you expecting that leadership, like, what you gonna do about this? And so it is about when you have you have great emotional intelligence, you do affect how you handle it affects those around you. Right. Additionally, emotionally intelligent leaders will actively seek to understand and empathize with their colleagues, which does, can help create that inclusive, supportive work environment. Because, like they say, sometimes you can attract more flies with honey. And you have to know when you need to be acerbic, when you need to be that person, and you need to know when you need to use the honey, right? We always talk about, I'm from Alabama, born, not necessarily raised my entire life there, but we always talk about how people down south can tell you to, like, go to Hades and have you skipping off and never even realize they just told you to go to, just flip off and get away from me. And you'll be walking down the street, you're all happy before you go, like, wait, what the thing? Because you got to process it. So, we're infamous down south for the honey child, sugar plum, and all of that. And we can say some things and have you, several minutes down several minutes away before you start putting, like, what did they just tell me? It is a form of emotional intelligence to know when you need to be, I hate to say combative, but when you need to be assertive and say things, where you, and sometimes you need to take a backseat and maybe go a different way in handling. All right. And some of us have personalities that we're always assertive and in your face. I'm gonna tell you what you did. And but there are some of us who have, and it's the kind of attitude that I have. I'm gonna sit back and observe. I'm gonna look and collect my data and then write it all out and then come back and present it to you in a very logical fashion and one by one by one. My stuff will be thorough. Oh, it will be thorough, but I may not be in your face at the moment, right? Emotional intelligence helps you decide who you're dealing with and when you should be one person versus the other, right? Right. And so emotional intelligence will guide you to understand when it's time to, leave that workplace when it's supportive. When you're in a supportive and inclusive workspace, yes, stay, work at it, do what you need to do to enhance and move on. But emotional intelligence also will guide you to say, it's just time for you to go. This workplace is not supportive. You sometimes, when I get my clients, they have stayed way too long in a workspace. They've been there too long because they think if I'm just positive, if I just use my emotional intelligence, if I just work hard enough, if I just do this, if I just do this, if I just do that, then this workspace will be better. If it's a toxic work environment, it won't. Sometimes you really do have to pick up and leave, and your sorry, your emotional intelligence will guide you in that case, right? You can also, contact career coaches. That's what we're here for, especially those of us who are culturally competent and sensitive and understand the different, ways in which you see things and how you're experiencing things. Not everybody will understand what it is to experience microaggressions in the workplace, and what I like to call macroaggressions, big old ones where it's just straight out, racist what people are saying. And because sometimes you sit there and the dialogue that runs through your head, I need to pay my mortgage this month. I got to pay for the kids' private school this month. I need to pay for the car. We do have to have groceries this month. Because sometimes that's the only conversation that's going on in your head that lets you stay in that job and try to figure things out. But it's, again, it goes back to the emotional intelligence when it's time to leave. Okay. And so, there are some really inspiring Black female leaders who have excelled, in spite of the many challenges that they face. And you can look them up. Certainly, Rosalind Brewer, Melody Hobson are some of those who've been in those spaces where emotional intelligence got them there, right? And there are many others, and these women use their emotions, their emotional intelligence to empower them in ways to enable them to navigate the obstacles and succeed in their respective fields. And we all do that on a daily basis. And I know, because I get my clients that come to me and say, I'm tired of navigating, I'm tired of having to do this. And again, not every workspace is for everybody, and it's okay to cut ties for your mental health and to find a better workspace where it is inclusive and it is supportive, right? And so, really, emotional intelligence is a critical tool for Black women executives and leaders to overcome those challenges in the workplace, right? Related to the lack of diversity and the fact of how people will see us as invisible and want to look over us and or steal our work and attribute it to other people. So it's important to practice and develop emotional intelligence skills so that you can create a positive workspace for you and increase productivity, but also for those around you, and also know when it's time to pick up and go, because sometimes that happens. Not every workspace is for everybody. And because you elect to pick up and go to where it is more inclusive, it is healthier for you, healthier for your mental health, and your emotional health. Doesn't make you a loser or quitting. It doesn't make you a failure. It just means you use your emotional intelligence to say, there's a better way to do what I'm doing. If you give it all you can, it's okay to just say, it is now time for me to move on and go, right? And I've had clients that actually did move 15 years in the job. We got the coaching done, coached them to leave. And what happened after they left is their people started leaving. Because sometimes when you leave a toxic workplace, you give everybody else wings to fly, right? You give them wing. Now they have they have encouragement and they have confidence to fly. And sometimes people will stay because they don't want to leave you. They love you as a leader, and they will hang in there in a toxic workplace because they don't want to leave you. And so sometimes I want you to think about that. If you've been, it's 5, 10, especially if it's been over 5 years, you've been there 10, 15 years. Yes, it's okay. It's time for you to go. But leaving sometimes will give your subordinates their wings to fly as well. All right. So I appreciate you all for watching today. Let me know how this one lands for you, because this month I'm really talking about the things that are self care. So if it's kind of got like a mindset bent to it, you're right. You're exactly right. Self care, I spoke about that. Yes, it is about self care. It is about attending to your mental health, attending to your emotional health, attending to your spiritual health as well. And so, on that vein, you do want to return next week when I'm talking about the secret power of a growth mindset that every Black female executive and leader should know. So I'll be back here, same place, 8:35 Eastern Time, 7:35 Central Time, 5:35 Pacific Standard Time. In the same place, you can catch me on LinkedIn, Facebook, my business page, or YouTube. And I'm also on Twitter. So, welcome to all the people that catch me in those places. Be sure to like this video and share it. And I will see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.